racism, I didn't even know what racism was until when I traveled. Because there's this thing Chimamanda said that she didn't know she was black until she went to America. Like you don't know you're different until you go somewhere that they are mostly a type of people. So you now find yourself as like the minority.
When I think of my Philippines journey, I think it's just what God wanted.
Exactly.
Because
Yeah.
I don't think I'd have come this far, like to be
In your
doing
faith,
even
exactly,
yeah,
it's true.
because it was.
Hey guys, welcome back. This is Zulaikha, the safe woman, and with me here is
I'm Antoinette Oguma, YouTuber, medical student.
Oshie.
That's us.
I celebrate grace.
Child of grace.
Okay, so today we are going to be talking about the differences between schooling in the Philippines and schooling in the UK. And I think just maybe I just want to touch on something. I think we didn't plan this before, but church, how is church like in the Philippines? Like,
Okay.
you have a whole regular redeem or winners?
Yeah, there's redeem.
There's winners.
No. I've not come across winners before, but when I was googling, I was seeing that there's Mountain of Fire in Philippines, but
You'll be surprised.
I've not come across anyone. But there are also Nigerian pastors that like maybe God led them to Philippines to start a ministry, that kind of thing. So there are those types as well. But the majority of the Filipino population is Catholic.
Oh,
yes, they are
is
Catholic.
it? Are they mostly Christian?
Yeah, mostly Christian, but Catholic. Like in Philippines, they'll tell you that Catholic is different from other Christians. So if they ask you, are you a Christian? You say yes. They'll be like, okay, are you a Catholic Christian or a Protestant? I'm like, Pentecostal. They're like, no, that means Protestant.
Now, what?
Really?
Yeah, well, that's interesting. I think in the UK, well, I would say, like long ago, the UK was a country that really took Christianity religion. That was where a lot of revivals took place. But sadly now, anyway, from my own perspective, when I was there, you find that in churches you have mostly older people. You'll find the young people. Then I used to do evangelism. Then you find people that say things like, "Oh, I'm okay," because when you're in a place where standard of living is okay, you feel like
you don't need God.
And that's the mistake that people don't realize.
Yeah, and that's what somebody said about Nigeria too. The Nigerians feel like they need to go to church because they have problems. Whereas when they travel abroad, someone said this on Instagram. I think it was last year. The person was like, if you travel abroad and you see your prayer points have reduced, then you will know that the majority of what you were praying for before was because of suffering.
No, honestly, I think to be honest, that is also a factor. Yeah, and just generally the standard of living there. But I think for me, when I found God as a Christian, like I won't talk much on this because of time and all, but when I found God like from a place of mostly struggling with things like addiction, depression. So coming to the UK for me, I was really happy to travel because coming from a Muslim background, I knew that it's difficult for me to be attending church and doing all these plenty things when I was still in Nigeria. So going to the UK, really, that was the point. That was really like my first church experience. So it was there I started attending church. It was even there I started attending winners. So people find it surprising that they told me that I was attending winners before traveling, but I didn't have a church before because it was shortly after I gave my life to Christ that I
Actually, funny enough, before I went to Philippines, I was a Catholic, like baptized, communion receiving, confirmated, a bit confirmed Catholic, and no, we call it confirmation. So I was like, confirmated.
No,
sounded very real until you said until I said. So then when I got to the Philippines, that's when I had real experience with Christ and everything, and then that's when I stopped going to Catholic church. And I'm not trying to shade any religion or any church or whatever, but yeah, you get the point. So for me, I think being in Philippines, I think it allowed me explore my own
faith,
my own faith walk, and not just because for me, I'm a very competitive person. So why I even started doing First Holy Communion and baptism in the first place was because my house then, like everybody goes to their own church. It was not like anybody says, okay, we're a Christian home, so everybody will go to this church. This is where our faith now. So my mom used to go to Catholic when I was in secondary school, and my dad as well. So I used to go to church with my mom, and so there was this day, my mom she didn't do baptism, nothing in Catholic church at the time, because now she's in Anglican. You get the gist. So so in Catholic, then there's this man that used to sit down. We used to sit down here beside him, like almost every service we go for. And every mass, that's what they call it. So this man said that and was like, don't be like your mom. Make sure that you do. Yes, so make sure that you
Okay.
do baptism, kiniko, and everything. And I said, okay. And that's why I picked it up and I just ran with it.
Wow.
So I did it not really because I understood it, but because
Just wanted to do it.
I was
because
I happened to be in a Catholic
Yeah.
boarding school as well. So those things were part of the line. Like, okay, they always do free. You don't have to stress yourself. Just be in school and just attend the class.
Yeah,
And the funny thing is, where I even did baptism and first Holy Communion, I didn't even used to attend the class. Wait, so I didn't even used to attend the class. It was the one day I just said, let me just go to
But they now did the...
That's when they just announced that, okay, this is the last set of people that we are going to accept. Anybody that is not here is not part of you. You people write your names. And then even they said, okay, we'll write an exam. Even the exam, I did expo to pass exam to do baptism.
Wow.
And first communion. So you can even imagine where I'm even coming from.
In the of God.
I can imagine where I'm coming from.
No, but I totally get. So I think, yeah, it was good for me because then I found myself in a church where, as in the winners then I was attending, we were just starting. So I think that really helped me to go because I wasn't in a big church, so it was very, very, like, we're just starting. So, then, my pastor really took my matter. Prayers, I don't miss prayers. If I say, oh, pastor, because of the winter, it's cold, it's okay, I'll come and pick you. So literally, it was that kind of thing where the growth just came. God just really put those people in my life, and I feel like me traveling, because then I wasn't even very big on traveling. That's the funny thing. My plan was to go to Unilag and study journalism or mass comm. So when the whole study abroad, it wasn't like I was like, oh yeah, I'm traveling abroad. Because I was, being a lesbian, I'm sure you can relate, like being around family. So for me, it was like, I remember I was even asking my sister, we like to church. I was so scared about a lot of
Funny
things.
enough, I really wanted to travel.
Yeah, so for me, it was just like I wasn't very keen on traveling.
No,
but then I started to see that it was God's plan. So I was like, okay.
I didn't even know God had plans. I was supposed to go to Afe, Babalola. I had written exam. I was preparing, and one morning I just woke up. I was just like, I want to school abroad.
Wow.
Like, I don't want Nigeria. Like, the way it happened was I used to watch Korean movies in secondary school.
Okay.
So
we can see why.
And so I used to see the way high school students used to work, how they used to, and I was telling my sister one day, I was like, I don't even mind any kind of job I would do, even if it's to watch dead body in mortuary. And she was like, did they tell you that they cannot pay your school fees? So that was it, and that conversation passed. And I think fast forward to like a year or two later, and then I just woke up one morning, I carried my phone, went downstairs, and I don't think I had phone there. I think it was my mom's phone. And I just went downstairs and I was Googling for schools that had scholarship. I tried US, I think it was US, and I just said, okay, I found admission, one school in Texas, one team. And my mom was like, okay, what's happening? And I was like, okay, I want to go abroad. But then I think I'm the one that's always pitied that, oh, my parents cannot be spending this much. So I was like, okay, US is too expensive. Now, the funny thing is I was supposed to go to Canada, and they said, okay, if you're going to Canada, you will leave in January. And me, I said, but they said if you're going to go to Philippines, you will leave in November. I said I would go to Philippines because I was tired.
That's how the Philippines
Yes. Funny thing is I left Nigeria January.
Wow. So you have literally gone to you. The same thing, I left in January as well. And I think mine was very impromptu, because, okay, first of all, as in JAMB, when I did JAMB, as I was one of those, like I've always been like an academic person because of my father. My father is very, very big on education and passing your exams and coming first. My dad remind you of how you used to come first. So naturally, my house took school very seriously. So JAMB, I was even like telling myself, I was telling people that I want to score 300 and something. On my son, my results, I told my sister that no, I was so confident. I was like, this is a mixed up. Maybe like I need to refresh the page. I think it was like 180 something. And my parents were like, this is like the lowest score in the whole house. I felt so bad because my sister, on the other hand, had like very high 200 and something. So I was just like, God. And then I remember my sister used to tell me that all things work together. And I meant, I'm like, this thing, I don't follow.
No, but now I think for me,
when I can see that it all happened.
Yeah, for me, when I think of my Philippines journey, I think it's just what God wanted.
Exactly.
Because I don't think I'd have come this far, like, to be
your faith. Exactly.
Yeah, it's because it was in Philippines. I just found a fellowship, and it was just starting like you too. So that was the one day I was going to talk about how you find a community of, like, how you can make friends as a believer in a new country.
I think you should do a video.
And I was going to talk about that fact too, about making just finding a space where they are believers, because that's the basic thing to do. Because it helped me.
And
Like
it helps you,
that's how much,
as a young person.
because now if I want to even post, like if I just want to be wild and say, okay, let me just post one video that somebody did something, maybe what the video is about is different. So let's say maybe the girl was advertising a hair, but what she wore in the video was inappropriate. I can't even post it.
Exactly.
Because my friends will first of all ask me, are you normal? Is something okay? Do you want to talk about it?
That is in you will just tell you. Yes. No. There was even a post I saw recently. The post was fine, and then I was hearing the song. One part something like your body this. I said, no, this one cannot post on my own page, because
like even when
I know what I represent.
If I post it, if my friends like if I even ignore, I'm just be like, but is here I want to post. My friends will be like, are you okay? Is everything okay? You want to talk about it?
You shall crop and post.
I crop a lot. Even my own sister said photo shoot, birthday photo shoot. I cropped it. She was like, what?
So yeah, I think it's very important. If you're watching this and you're going abroad, please
find a community,
because it's going to help you. And I think a lot of times people will feel like, oh, because I'm going to church, I can't have fun. Like, to be honest, my best, very good, I call her my sister. I found her, we met in church. So
the one you post?
Yeah, the one I post a lot, that she achieved her wedding anniversary.
Yeah.
Till now, she's an American now, interestingly. Her husband's in America. But we are still so close that we pray every single week. Like, a week can't go by. If I'm tired, she'll be like, no, you must pray. If she, I will like, no. So there's just this, so you never know who you will find. Like, be open to, church is not prison. I feel like freedom is in Christ. Anything that anybody that's telling you that, oh, because I'm going to church can't do, that's the life from the pit of hell. So just find the good, and then you have fun in church. Like, we used to do, I had a university fellowship we used to attend. Like, we used to do open mic, we used to do a lot of things, conferences, we travel, we do a lot of things, and we're
like with the amount of islands that are in Philippines. If I tell you that, okay, I've been to only 3, and 2 out of the 3 times was even my fellowship.
Exactly.
It's not like, because I'm not even the person that goes out, first of all.
Why did I just think about how to say no man in an island? Like, can't just go
I wanted to be an island, but they took me to the island.
As a grace. Oh God, but yeah, we have digressed a lot. So what's the final thing? Okay, I just wanted to say, okay, I think we're going to talk about racism.
It's racism that is the last thing.
Racism. Okay, I think I'll go first on this one. Racism, I didn't even know what racism was until when I traveled, because there's this thing Chimamanda said that she didn't know she was black until she went to America. Like, you don't know you're different until you go somewhere that they are mostly a type of people, so you now find yourself as like the minority. So when I traveled, that I knew that there was something like minority. But of course, as believers, we believe that when we got this majority and all that. But I'm saying that in terms of figures and all that.
No, there was a day. You say what you want to say, but this one just came to my head. Don't forget it.
No,
so there was a day I was walking in. There's this area in Cebu. They call it Cologne. Cologne it's an area that's just full of different plazas, markets, everything. So it's a very busy place. So one day I just stood in Cologne and I just looked around me, and everybody around me was. I just realized I was the only black person.
Exactly. That's how. So you don't even, that difference only happens when you come to a place where you're like the only person, or few of you are like that. So I got into the train with my auntie from London, Heathrow Airport in London. So on the train to Nottingham, because that's where I schooled. And then me and my auntie were just talking. You were just telling me, oh, you get this SIM card, you get this, go to this bank. She was just trying to help me settle in. And there was this man that looked very weird, and he was like, shut up. And in my head, I was thinking, because before I travel, I already heard that. Again, no shit. I already, obviously you hear like stereotypes.
Yes.
I already knew that, okay, I heard it, and they, people take drugs and they get high. So in my mind, I was like, this guy's high is his problem. Me, I couldn't even be. I'm like, this one doesn't even know what's my body. What's my body, so I can go to my school and settle down and enter my accommodation and start my classes. Because again, I told you I was already running late. And this he just went on, shut up. I think he was even using the F word. I can't remember anything, but I didn't really understand. So that's when I was like, this person's high. That's what I told her. This person's high. She was like, don't mind these people that are racist. I was like, racist. So I think it was that when the other guys in the train were like, oh, if he doesn't want to stay in the train, he should get out. So that's when I started understanding that it was because of us he was saying shut up. I won't believe that this guy got out of the train the next stop. In my mind, I was like, hey, who is this? Like, I had this, don't show yourself as me. If you just try me, I came from Nigeria.
Funny enough, there's even this thing that happens. Like, I've stopped paying attention to racism. Like, in Philippines. So there's this thing. I think you just, I don't want to call it adapt, because it just seems like you're getting used to bad things.
Yeah.
But there's this thing where you enter public transport in Philippines. They call it jeepney. So the jeepneys, I'll try to maybe get a picture of it and put it on the screen or something.
Is it a bus or like a tram?
It's like a bus, but you enter through the back.
Oh,
so like two benches facing each other
so
in a bus instead of the normal seat facing front. So you get into a jeepney and you see people closing their nose. Like, what's going on?
Are you serious?
Like, who is smelling? Sorry, hello. Do you understand?
That kind of thing.
Yes, and they do it. And so I left that one in 2017. Like, I don't even think I noticed it from 2018 upward. And then I entered med school
to be honest.
In 2019, and then I realized and a lot of my Filipino subscribers have tried to explain that, Filipinos are used to a particular fragrance, let me put it like that, perceiving another thing for them is like turning their stomach and everything. But really, I don't want to go into that thing. Let's just leave it the explanation they gave. But it was really offensive that foreigners would be in a class, because in my school foreigners are different. Like, they put foreigners in a different student unit from Filipinos.
Are you serious?
Yeah, wow. Because the majority of my school is controlled by Indian. So the Indian people, they have their own because Indians, I think the way I can explain it is Indians were trying to overpower the school authority. So they just had to put them separately. So when they put them separately, they were now more lenient with the Indian batch. In a way that now made when foreigners come, they will now be putting foreigners in the Indian batch as well. So by the time I came, it was not even an option again. As a foreigner, you just go to Indian batch. Wow. So they now named it International Student Unit. So because we're an international student unit,
so do you have separate classes?
Yes.
Wow.
So we used to have separate classes, and then each person is just so everybody is like, in my class we're only foreigners, and so if Filipinos are the ones that are supposed to use the room next, you will notice that we are still in the class. Maybe we're just rounding up, or the lecturer just left, and so we're about to like just leave so the next people can use it, or maybe it's even break time, so we just want to stay there for the whole of the break and then we leave, because Filipinos don't joke with their break. Once it's 12, there's nothing you are begging for, whether it's life and death. If you, as far as you cannot die before 1, you wait.
But that's crazy.
Yeah, so they come into the class and then they start opening the windows.
Wow.
AC is on. No.
Wow.
So it's not like it heats. AC is on and they just enter and they start opening the window. So it's like.
But I guess, to be honest, I think that can also, if you're not someone that doesn't care, imagine someone coming there. That can actually.
I didn't even notice it. Sorry, it was my classmates that were like, "Have you noticed that? Nigerians now, you don't notice that they go open window. How come you don't notice? I'm not they pay attention. What kind of things?"
I need someone, and I feel that can be a real issue because it's almost like segregation in a way. And that's another. I think I enjoyed school in the UK because once during foundation is for international students.
It was only on online classes once
that everybody was
that
together.
They mixed us with.
I feel like that should actually change. That's what I think, because again, foundation year, of course, UK students don't need to do foundation, so obviously foundation is for international students, which is understandable because it's not university. Once you go to university, everybody's on equal playing field. You have your classes together. And I think for me, when I started school, at some point I started to be very insecure because when I went into uni foundation, you are hearing different accents, you're hearing Nigerian, you're hearing Chinese, so you don't really feel kind of out of place. Of course, I still struggled at the initial stage, but when I got to uni, I remember I used to be very, very conscious of the way I spoke, because if I speak, the teacher will be like, "Oh, sorry, I can't hear. Can you speak slower?" But it was the point I was telling my sister, honestly, I'm tired. My sister was like, "Wait, these people that are talking, if they come to Nigeria, they sound different. So it's not like, so don't feel insecure." So after that, I used to even propose, like, even if I don't have much, I always open my eyes, I want to contribute.
There's this
so just really help. But everybody is together. Everybody, like, there's never any international students receive lectures. But we have things like international student union and all those things. But generally, everybody, and I think British people are actually very, very eager to know about your culture. So you find
they're
people
eager. They're eager.
Like they really, really try to,
No, they're eager. Even when you're in the mall, or even because my lecturers are still Filipinos, so they always ask you about your country. But the only thing is they now generalize every foreigner to be Indian. So they look at the bulk of the class.
And that's what happens.
If you're not Indian, or you're not Thailand, they can't use your country as an example, like, because they forget that there are some people that are there that are not Indians and not Thai. Because those are like Thailand people in my class, let me just say they were 14, and then you have Indians like 120, and then you have Nigerians that are like 6, and then you have, I think we had one Madagascar, that was even my first time hearing that Madagascar was a real place. I thought it was just in cartoons.
Are you serious? Are you serious?
So you have like all these kind of things, and then they're giving, like, I had this lecturer there, she's a doctor, and she always tell you about the time she went to India, the time she went to this, the time she went to that. Never ever do they mention Nigeria. It's only once in a while that you can just hear one teacher say, okay, what's your nationality, and just be like Nigerian, and it's okay. Like, even my school, for example, since I entered the school, my history of being in the school, I never saw one person that was from South Africa.
Wow.
But when they were doing flag in front of the school, they put South Africa, they didn't put Nigeria.
So wow.
They put South Africa, they put one other country that I've never come across in the school.
Wow.
And I was like, if not even because I'm a Nigerian, but the bulk of black people I've seen in the Philippines. The bulk of the black people I've seen in the Philippines are Nigerians.
I think it was
Nigerians, there will be somebody that will go and fight for their rights. So I think somebody went to the school office and complained. Yeah, that was when they now added Nigeria.
It's actually enough to complain, because it's one thing where we are here and there's no recognition. And I think I feel generally, I think in terms of education, I feel like UK schools are very, very aware of like the difference. So you have a case where even in my school, we had things like Nigerian Society, and then we even had like a Nigerian representative. So for instance, I can want to study Nottingham now, and there's a representative in Abuja I can easily connect with. I remember when I did a video about schooling in Nottingham, my school actually posted it on their page. So yeah, like I said, there's International Week. So International Week, once you just come and say, oh, I am from this country, we are so and so number, and want to be part of the International Week, they'll give you like £250. That was when I was in school. Maybe it has even increased now. So you can get food. So everybody represents their everybody represents their culture for that International Week. So you come in, wear your clothes. That was so fun, because people will come and know about your culture. So this International Week, everybody that maybe there are some countries that don't come forward. So that's really up to you. But they encourage people to come.
They don't do that.
So you cook your food. You even design the place. Like now, one time we even had Nigerian money. We did a lot of things. So people will come and try your food.
It's only one school I've seen that does that. That okay, I know that they pay the Nigerian to actually make Nigerian meal for the how do they even call it again? It's like it was an acquaintance party. But in the acquaintance party, they tried to like put like each nationality food. So the girl made fried rice, and then but my school, they don't really send you. Every foreigner is Indian food.
Yeah. I think just because of the way
every foreigner is Indian food. And one thing I'll talk about in the fact that they mixed the fact that they segregated the foreigners from locals. So yeah. So for example, there was something that happened recently in my school. They had this issue where they changed the dean. And I don't even know if I should be talking about this, but yeah, they changed the dean. And so because they changed the dean happened to be a lecturer in a particular subject. So because he was a lecturer and he was the head of that department, so they now started bringing out things that, okay, foreigners in the foreigner batch, they failed. Like about 30-something of them failed. But in the Filipino batch, everybody passed. And I had to start telling them, I said, wait, calm down. Before you post something like this, because they made flyers.
Wow.
The Indians made flyers. Wow. And I said, before you do something like this, ask them who taught them. That he's the head of the department doesn't mean he's the one that taught them.
Yeah.
So when they did the research, they now realized that, oh, that's not what happened. But it's little things like this that make people see racism where there's actually no racism.
Exactly. That's actually true. I think
so that divide. And what I was hearing was that the school has, I think they said they have a contract with Indians. So I think the contract is supposed to last for a couple of years. So it's still going to be like this for a couple of years, just that.
And that years will be plenty. It's not like
but the only thing is with this new dean, one of the things I'm very sure of is that things will not be the way they were before, that anybody can get away with anything.
Yeah.
So that's it.
Oh, that's cool. Let's see if there's any other thing we've not covered. I think that's really, I'm really like shocked to hear that in a way, because I just feel like I thought, maybe because of my own experience, I just felt like, oh, everything will just, maybe not exactly the same, but hearing the whole separate classes, I was just like, on top what?
No, but it's not every school, it's just my school, funny enough.
Yeah, but I'm just too surprised that it's a thing, you understand? Like, I feel like, I just assumed that, okay, once you've done foundation, once
the reason why they were doing that before, the former dean was very lenient. So in the foreigner batch, could get away with anything.
Yeah.
Any single thing. But this new dean, people are literally begging for their lives right now because he believes that everybody's like spoiled, entitlement mentality.
Yeah,
You
everybody
can
should.
pay your way with anything, and
Wow.
whatever you need, you get it done with money.
Mm-hmm.
That's how he looks at every student right now. So it's a lot more different from the previous dean where they could have mercy on foreigner batch like no man's business.
Mm.
So I feel like now it's going to actually be equal. It's just that okay, there's still the divide, but things will actually be equal. Because one of the things I also noticed was that in my school they even changed like the heads of so many departments.
Oh.
So the heads of so many departments
there's
are
been a
gone.
lot
So
of,
there's
like,
yes.
reshuffling.
So it's most likely now new people that have new ideas, not just okay, we treat the Filipino batch. Because one of the things I also heard is that they're very strict with Filipino batch.
Oh, okay.
They're very strict with them. So an exam that they will give Filipino batch, a very tough exam on a scale of 1 to 10, let me say they give them 8.5 like rate of toughness. They're giving us like 5.
Wow.
4. Because even that 4, some Indians will not pass it.
I don't like.
And then those ones will not start
Yeah.
paying for removal exam. But with this new dean now,
He wants everything to be.
he said there's no
equal.
removal exam again.
It's better because I think it's even better because let's know what we are doing. Let's know that we're all doing the same.
Now we're going to count the boys
Same
from the
thing.
men.
Exactly. No, I think it's better.
And not just delivering, a set
then-
of doctors to
Then,
the
like
world.
when you're schooling in the UK, even if you want to do party again, you want to do anything, you will tell yourself that if you mess up, you won't graduate.
I had a classmate then
you
that
will
used
not
to
even graduate. You won't
like
even
even
graduate.
with this online exam that everybody's using to pass.
Exactly, because you can't cheat.
This guy, no, some of my exams you can't even find the answer on Google.
But at least it's
And
not
you
like
have
this
2 hours. You
thing.
literally
Wow.
be feeling your heart beating. Like
Yeah, I understand.
I had one exam
Because
a
when you
couple
start,
of days
it's
back.
timed.
I had an exam a couple of days back. 90 questions for 1 hour. From the beginning of that exam to the end, I was feeling my heart. I could literally hear my heart do boom 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 boom. So that's how it really is, Sha.
That's quite interesting. Okay, she has everything.
Yeah, that's everything. Because the last thing was supposed to be teaching style and academics.
I think we've
we
just
touched
talked
on
about.
it.
Yeah, but I would say teaching style in the UK. I would say I really enjoyed it. I think I enjoyed the fact that there's a lot of like support, and because we had a lot of like Chinese and other people that were not maybe from English speaking countries, we would even have something like in sectional English support. So if you feel like I want to learn more, I want to improve, and there's really no. I feel it's only if you have this kind of mindset that you don't feel like you're good enough. If you have that confident mindset, even when you have to do all these things, like I joined the intentional English training, not because I don't speak English, but because I wanted to get better at academic writing. But there was not this areas, and I went there with my chest like, hey, it's not my school fees. On top,
Actually, I accredited my English because
yeah,
Philippines, there's something you can do, but I don't think they do it again, Sha. Because now they're trying to have SS3. They didn't have before.
Oh.
So it's from, I think, let me just say, from what is approximately called SS2 in Nigeria. That's where they go to university.
Oh,
so
okay.
that's why their high school students cannot just go straight into med school.
Oh,
they have to study another course first.
Okay, almost like a foundation.
Yes, they have to study So because of that, you have a lot of Filipinos that do nursing, med tech, that's like lab science
the one
in
that doesn't
Nigeria.
require them to do
Yes.
foundation.
So when they do those courses, then they now proceed to medicine, because to do medicine in Philippines is considered as a master's degree.
Oh.
So yes, so they have to do it like that. So because we have already done history, we've done WAEC, everything. We basically used to carry our WAEC then to the school. I even carried my GES3 results, GES2 results, so that I could rule PHE out of my this. If not, I would have gone to Philippines to be wearing joggers and be doing exercise and be showing my video of me doing exercise in class.
Once you've done your foundation, I don't think if you even have proof of foundation that you've done foundation in Nigeria, they will accept it. But I think they will first accept it because there are some schools that, like, for instance, I think there's one school in Abuja here. So if you go to that school, so it's not like they will still check it to be sure that you can cope, because their own issues. You don't want you to go to university and then start struggling. So foundation is just, you do foundation.
How long was foundation?
Just like 8 months. So it's just basically from January to like August. I think by August you're even done. So foundation really is to help you with academic writing, because even if you understand English, academic writing is like a whole course. My kind of course involves a lot of writing.
For me, I accredited my English.
So they would. I did IELTS. So even with the IELTS, you still come and still do the foundation. Foundation, I think there's English skills, writing skills. I can't remember the courses, but there was even media and communication. So
I accredited my English, but I still did one English.
Yeah.
The only thing with that English was that the woman, our final exam, the woman said we should add drama, we should dance. I had a classmate that danced. I had a classmate that danced. Why me? The day I was supposed to go for the drama practice, I had a fellowship. So we took excuse from this guy. We're like, sorry, can we miss it? Me and my friend. And he said, no problem. I think they said no problem. And we went. And next thing, we went to go and tell the lecturer that we've not been coming for practice. And so she removed us. She said, okay, the both of us should act our own. We acted it and we passed.
That's it now. So I think the system is interesting to just learn more about the Filipino system.
Actually, our Philippine standard for medicine, I think even for most courses, is US. Because I think their colonization was US and Spanish. So many of the Filipino names too are also Spanish.
Yeah, that's cool. I enjoyed studying in the UK. I think the thing I enjoyed the most is just the independent learning style.
I think
like you don't feel like you have to. You have freedom to explore your own strengths. Like when I started school, I just realized how interested I was in like Afrocentric culture, race, gender, all these kind of things. So you are free to explore, and the teachers don't try to control your learning. So if you come and like, okay, this is what I'm interested in, and then we used to write the essays we write, we have like 8 topics to choose from. So if you see something like that you don't like, you can just go for a topic. I remember then I always look out for race. Once I just see race, I don't even read any other. I don't say this one I'll do. So it's interesting. And library, yeah, I love the library. Open 20. We had our library was open for 24 hours.
I've never even gone to library in Philippines except school library.
Okay, yes, it's school library. What's my business with the city library?
No, there's city library, and I've seen.
They don't even have like facilities.
I think I have a friend that used to go to the city library to read. But waiting concerns city library.
Exactly.
I might finish the one in
my own is school library, because school library will have your recommended books. And I know one thing I like too is that you don't need to buy books. Every single book is available in the library. You just read it anytime you borrow the book, you scan it, there's self-service scan, you scan it, you even have some of them online. So the system, as in learning, is easy. If you don't want to learn,
once I borrowed a book from the library because I used to have like.
And then they allow us to borrow equipment as well because of my course. Then my documentary I did in Nigeria, they allowed me to travel with camera, tripod, everything. Wow. Even when I came, I didn't even know that at the airport they manhandled it, so the thing broke. They're not telling me that, oh, okay, that did I notice? And I was like, so honestly, I didn't notice it because as soon as I came back to the UK, I just returned it. So they were like, oh, okay, that they will look at it if it's covered by insurance, or that the cameras are really expensive. And I'm like, yeah, you want me to buy a camera? I just said, God, please. So now told me that, okay, I shouldn't worry after some time. So there's just this assurance that you know that if you fail, it's your fault, because everything is provided, and you won't find a teacher that would hate you to the point that they will mark you. They give you know that your grade, you deserved it. If you fail, you deserved it.
I think it's only once I heard of a lecturer in Philippines. Then I don't know about it too. That had problem like I used to get that some people used to settle her then. When I mean settle, I'm talking of settle.
She's running package.
Used to guess, and and funny thing is, she's the only lecturer that used to announce in class then that I don't accept gifts from students.
That's it. You see that thing there. It's the people that used to
oh
do
my
that.
God.
You know how you blow trumpet.
Yes.
Then you cannot, as in, even if it comes to your mind, you have to cast the thoughts, because so that you not go and put yourself. There was someone I know that he did, basically, I think he asked somebody to help him to write his project. He was in second year, going to third year. They found out and they cancelled it.
The one I heard of
in
my school,
in another school. So just imagine you don't try.
The one I heard of in my school was twin sisters. I don't know how they caught them, but one sent one to write exam for her. The one that went to write exam, they failed her. Who she wrote for, they passed her. They said to teach her a lesson that in her next life.
If I'm two sisters, I'll say my sister, we failed together.
I think they tried that thing. I can't remember how the story went, because my friend was telling me because they were in a class or something.
Wow, are they Nigerians?
Filipinos.
I want to say thank God, but I don't feel right about saying thank God. But you get like,
I get it, because for once it's not a Nigerian mistake. No, but really Nigerians have done a lot too. We've had a lot of things. Nigerians did this one. No, I will always say this one. Nigerians did that one and stuff like that.
No, but yeah, schooling abroad, I think I enjoyed it, and
I honestly didn't even think I would have missed Philippines where I miss it now. Like, I really want to go back.
Do you think you want to stay after?
No.
I expected that response. But do you think like after you finish, is there something else? Like housemanship?
Yes.
Do you want to explore another country?
No, the thing is, Nigerians now, what they're doing is that in Philippines, they're doing something called postgraduate internship. But from the last I heard about PGI is that it's not even accredited in Nigeria. So if you come to Nigeria, you still do housemanship again.
But do you want to practice here?
I don't think so. Right now, everything in my head is not Nigeria.
Jackpa. She's Team Jackpa. Me, I'm team. Okay, first of all, okay, I want to relocate, but I'm team spirit led, and I'm sure she's in team spirit led as well. But I would appreciate if the spirit should lead to
To
the
Japa.
Japa. The hair. That's it.
Get
Nah,
it.
man, that's it.
Don't
That's
get it.
it.
Forget about it. So I think with that we've come to the end of this particular video. Which part was gisting? Like I don't know. I don't even know how to say.
We just gisted
how
the
was
whole
it? How was
video.
it for you? Have you ever traveled abroad to school?
Yes,
How was your schooling
abroad.
experience? Do you think you want to try it? Is it something you feel like?
Do
is
you
in
want
the
to
book?
Japa?
Do you want to jackpot? Let's know.
But yeah, thanks so much for watching. Thanks for
Thank
and
you,
make
you.
sure you subscribe to the channel.
Yes.
Subscribe.
Subscribe.
If you don't subscribe, God is watching you. Like
Watching.
literally, there are people is watching you.
Yes.
Okay. Bye. Bye.